the wise people of Vatican City pray for our world to soon be as enlightened as you are. Throughout the history of mankind, the divine messages are often shrouded in mystery. Prophets, messiahs, or whichever names you call them, are often persecuted and oppressed, their words obscured. But how do we distinguish the truth from the false? To do so, one can only rely on the divine's guidance, and the truth will reveal itself to those who earnestly seek it. In our previous episodes, we discovered that the serpent, also known as Satan or Maya, is now bound and locked in hell. However, traces of his influence still remain inside the human system. How can these negative residues be removed if we are to enter the Golden Age? As Supreme Master Thanh Hải explained for us.
Because the energy of the zealous demons and ghosts and evil is still in the world.
Yes.
Like even if Maya is gone, the energy still lingers because they infected the humans and the animals on this planet since long ages already. Yeah. So even if they're gone, it takes years. Even it could charm the couple, the first children of God, whom God loved so much and created with love and breathed his own life force into them.
Yes.
Imagine how powerful it is. And we now, humans, alone on the planet, not in Eden even. Adam and Eve live next to God, with God, and still got seduced. So us humans, the snake within us is difficult to get rid of. Unless we really want to. Nothing we want cannot be done in the spiritual realm because we are the children of God. We have that power. But many people are so seduced, so lost in this physical domain that they forget everything. They forget heavens, they forget God. Even if they go to the church, they don't really remember God. Not in the real sense.
打坐时，在境界中看到师父自己孤独一人在力战一条大白蛇。如果师父像人类这么大的话，那条大白毒蛇就像5层楼那么高地站立起来，直径大约有2到3公尺粗，向着师父吐蛇信。我看到这情形，就拿出师父赐给的宝剑，飞上去刺了白蛇一剑，又斩断大白毒蛇的脖子。但是它会复原复活。化身师父说，这是住在人类内心的蛇，因人类内心的恶心不断，选择了过蛇的生活，滋养了这条蛇，所以无法把它消灭，它还会复活。我呼请极乐师姐来帮忙，师姐马上就来了，扎扎扎扎把蛇斩成碎片。但是没多久它又复活了，因为人类的恶心会赐给它生命力，所以我们无法把蛇斩草除根。每个人必须自己战胜自己内心的毒蛇，才能彻底解决问题。
How deeply has the serpent infiltrated the human race? One recurring example mentioned by the Catholic visionaries lies in the Church itself. Blessed Sister Elena Aiello, who lived in the early half of the 1900s, told us:
Il mondo è sprofondato in una corruzione strabocchevole. Le persone non si sottomettono alla Chiesa, e disprezzano i sacerdoti, perché fra di loro ce ne sono tanti che sono motivo di scandalo.
Pope Francis acknowledged that the scandals are driving people away from the Church.
Li indignano gli scandali sessuali.
They are upset by sexual and economic scandals that do not meet with clear condemnation.
For worshippers, it is a traumatic time.
In this time of final judgment, Master has been speaking openly about the problems within the Church by exposing the injustices and warning of the consequences if there are no real corrective changes.
All these decades, and the Church still continues to exist and continues to fester this kind of evil within the house of the Lord. It's unacceptable.
Yes, ma'am.
They abuse children because the children are easier to fall victim, like predators. They're molesting the weak, the meek, defenseless, and innocent. If children come home and maybe tell something, the parents might not even believe it and scold the kids or keep quiet, or they threaten the kids to keep quiet or else. And then even abuse the orphanage boys. Oh, how ugly can it be, my God. We call this the Church of God and the Church of Christianity, the Church of Catholics, whatever, all these holy names. What kind of degraded to the bottom of the bottom. But if the symbol of God, the Church, is rotten like that, then other people will be influenced to do the same. Yes. Or join inside to make it more evil, more permanent. And more bad people will come to become their workers, their priests, and make the church become Satan's instrument.
I joined the monastery as a very idealistic 20-year-old and thought I was going to be a monk, a priest, and unfortunately it didn't work out that way because so many sex abuse cases came forward that I ended up actually being ordained early to go work on and follow sex abusers who were being withdrawn. And at that point, at the age of 32, I had to make a moral decision. Am I going to support this institution? Am I part of this, or do I have to find a different path?
According to the Christian prophecies, God's wrath is to fall upon humans in the final days if he becomes too corrupt. In a way, Master has been voicing God's anger, for all true enlightened masters are representatives of God.
I'm very angry. I'm a very angry vegan master, okay? When it comes to injustice and the suffering of children and animals, because they are helpless. My God. Oh, may God forgive us all. Ultimate Master, God Almighty, forgive all of us. Please.
The Italian Catholic clairvoyant Blessed Elisabetta Canori Mora shared the following account. of having witnessed the divine anger toward the Catholic Church in particular.
Per la seconda volta sono tornata a vedere il fabbricato rovinoso. Sono stata condotta dentro di questo e mi sono stati mostrati gli sconcerti che nella Chiesa succedono. Vidi l'oppressione dei poveri, vidi i sacrilegi che si commettono da tanti ministri di Dio, vidi l'ingordigia di questi, l'attacco che hanno ai beni transitori, la dimenticanza del vero culto di Dio, vidi il bene apparente fatto per fini indiretti. Che delitti sono mai questi? Non si possono comprendere. A queste cognizioni mi inorridii e quasi dubitando che Dio fosse per subissare il mondo, tremavo da capo a piedi.
Oh my God, what are they doing with Jesus' teaching? Oh my God. They make an empire out of it. For gain and fame. For respect and privilege. And here we have the church, the reverence of all the reverence, the holy of all the holy, walking tall, talking big, cashing in, living in comfort, and doing this kind of thing to the children. And the Lord does nothing. Just a little bit here and there, and then sweep it under the carpet, no?
The bishop reportedly spent 31 million euros on a luxury home and office.
The big donation baskets fill quickly. The belief is the more you give during and after the church service, the more your wealth will increase.
The pastors themselves, they live like rock stars with huge mansions, private jets, and fancy cars.
Cardinal Angelo Becciu, who is 73 years of age, he is accused of embezzlement, abuse of office, extortion and fraud, including losing the Vatican almost 100 million euros in a London property investment that went sour.
Others also foresaw the trouble within the Catholic Church, such as the Venerable Mother Agnes Chiara Steiner, who was gifted with prophetic vision since childhood.
La notte io avevo una visione. Vidi il giudice severo che giudicava 2 sacerdoti in un maestoso trono. Mi parve che andassero dannati, mentre con un cenno li allontanò. Ebbi tanto timore che venisse a me. Io piangevo e tremavo. Vidi altri 2 sacerdoti, cui accadde la medesima cosa.
Even much earlier, in the 1100s AD, the famous German prophetess Saint Hildegard of Bingen also emphasized that the religious leaders would have to improve during the end times.
Zum Ende der Welt hin wird die Menschheit durch Leiden gereinigt. Dies wird besonders für den Klerus gelten, der seines gesamten Eigentums beraubt wird. Wenn der Klerus eine einfache Lebensweise angenommen hat, werden sich die Bedingungen verbessern.
The church has a big influence in world politics even. So can you see how harmful it is to the whole world, not just to the children, not just to the reputation of the church. If the church is not clean, clear, and purified, then this evil will spread all over. And also the energy of it will affect the world, affect world peace,
Yes.
affect the world's moral virtues and the faith in God.
After Master had lent her heartfelt time and energy to speak out about problems in the church, we noticed that the situation began to show signs of change. Perhaps this is evidence that the wrath of God contains within it a power to bless and foster more enlightened actions.
Etc.
It's a little bit more progressive now. So I read yesterday and the day before the head of the Church of England, Reverend Welby, apologized to some of the victims of the abuse from the Church of England. Yeah. And then also the head of the Catholic Church in Germany wrote a letter as the Pope to let him resign.
Yes.
Because he say he's too ashamed. He feels guilty if he keeps being silent or doing nothing, meaning he condones that. And he realized that because of trying to protect the honor of the church, the reputation of the church, he ignored this problem. And he feels like a collective guilt or something like that. Yeah.
Es geht für mich im Kern darum, auch Mitverantwortung zu übernehmen für das, was in der Kirche geschehen ist. Im Raum der Kirche, der ein Raum der Heilung sein soll, der Hoffnung sein soll, der Zuversicht sein soll.
Actually, our work does bear some fruit. It's not as much as I want, but it does make some waves. It does stir up something.
Understanding viewers, thank you for joining us today. Please tune in again next week for more urgent predictions from the past Christian mystics. Coming up is inventor Nikola Tesla, vegetarian, novel benefactor of modern civilization, part 3 of 3. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. May you be among those safe in God's refuge.
Vegan, because we cannot allow hell to continue.